Hi, my name is Luella Provenza, and I am the U.S. Partnership Specialist with Technovation.
And I'm Abby May Pitcher, and I am our program manager for the US with Technovation.
And Technovation, we are a global tech ed organization, and our goal is to help young people, especially young girls, identify challenges in their community and pair it with technology to generate solutions. Our goal is to ensure that young people have access to the ability to become social entrepreneurs generating tech-based solutions. Young people in the Technovation program basically are creating tech-based solutions to challenges that they see in their community and across the world. We leverage sustainable development goals to really look at how they want to change the world. And so our young people are using coding and AI to develop solutions to responsible consumption. We've got apps that are created by young people that are helping figure out how to do sustainable fashion versus young people that are leveraging coding and AI to impact mental health and well-being of their peers. Regardless of how our young people want to change the world, we help them figure out how to have conversations in their community to make sure that the challenge that they're trying to solve is something that other folks are struggling and dealing with, and getting their direct feedback on how to develop a solution that they would want to use in their community to make meaningful change. And so our program runs in kind of three different parts. One, we help young people identify that problem, but then also understand the ins and outs of coding and AI to begin to develop that tech-based solution. We help them identify potential competitors in the market to figure out how their solution potentially could go above and beyond and help folks a little bit more intentionally. And so our goal is to help folks become social entrepreneurs through technology and generating those solutions. And then our last part of our program is our global competition. And so young people that feel like they've got a solution that the world should see, they can submit to our competition on an annual basis and get direct feedback from industry professionals on their apps. Yeah, so the way that Technovation supports young people throughout the globe is actually working directly with, whether that be educators inside schools or in after-school settings, and we support them through kind of comprehensive ongoing training and support as it relates to curriculum. And so our curriculum is completely open access and available for folks to use today. And the way that it's broken up is in grade bands. And so we have a beginners division that's aimed at grades 3 through 5, starting at 8 years old, going to our junior division that is geared towards 6th through 8th grade, and then our senior division that is geared towards 9th and 12th grade. I think youth voice, what youth voice means to me is allowing youth to drive their learning. And specifically in the Technovation experience, we allow young people to identify that challenge that's near and dear to them that they're interested in solving. And we provide them the tools in order to advance their solution. We had one participant say that Technovation helped them figure out how to learn and gave them the tools to kind of basically self-discover. And I think that's really important to us as an organization, that students feel like they're in charge, not only of their learning, but developing solutions. And as we look to the future, I think it's really important that youth are involved in the here and the now on future innovations that are not only related to climate change, but education, healthcare, you name it, because it is their community in the here and the now, but also in the future.
I'll just say, I'm kind of pulling from my experience talking to educators that are doing with students kind of across the US and what I've heard from them, as well as my own experience with we have a little chapter here in Merced where I live, and that is a beginner division. So we've got girls as young as 8 up through 12 that this past year went through the Technovation program, designed some awesome apps, and really led the way. So that brings me, I think, to my first best practice would be to let the youth really lead, which I know sounds really cliche, but what's neat is that in a lot of these, with these different after school programs, and even our chapter here in Merced that was led by one of the teachers at the school, the facilitators often don't have deep coding knowledge, and so the adults are very much learning coding and learning AI and all of the things just alongside the students. And so that learning alongside the students process, it can be really humbling. I remember sitting down with a group of students, they're like, we want to build an app that can like filter recipes by dietary restrictions. And I'm like, holy cow, I have no idea where to even begin. But we sat down together. We actually started by asking ChatGPT where we should begin, and I modeled that process with them and showed them what I was getting, and we kind of together figured out what they would need to put into their app so that it could filter by dietary restrictions. And so, letting the students lead and learning alongside them, I think is really key to elevating youth voice, and letting them see that you're willing to learn with them, that they're not below you in that sense. The second one would be the focus on like the what's right around them, that they can be the experts on what they're interested in, is I think another area of best practice. We do use the UNSCGs as kind of a framework, but we really challenge the students to think through what are they seeing in the communities right around them that's personal to them, and how could you engage that. And so, right, the girls that were building this app with the dietary restrictions, they come from a Muslim background where they do have dietary restrictions, and so they kind of knew what they needed. There was another student I was able to meet in Texas that has diabetes, and so she built an app that she was like, I would want this, to help me think through, where's my blood sugar levels and what do I need to eat based on where my blood sugar is at, and so letting the students be the expert and encouraging them, like, your community best, your own experience best, design your solution focused on that. And then the last best practice, I think, is just those real life connections and the community connections. On our virtual platform where students sign up, they can connect with industry professionals and mentors virtually across the world. We have, coaching available for students. And of course, those like local community connections are awesome too. And so making sure the students are getting connected with, whether it's a community partner or local business. We've had students that will design their solution specifically for like an organization in their community that says, hey, I need an app that does this. Can you build it for me? And they'll build it for them. And then just making sure that they, have access to role models and people that can give them that real life perspective. So those are my top 3 best practices. So there are 2 kind of next day resources that I'd love to highlight. The first, as Will mentioned, is our curriculum for the beginner division, especially that's at 8 through 12 grade band age band, 8 years old up through 12 years old. And that the student curriculum is student facing, and so it's designed to be accessed by the students for that self-paced kind of student driven learning. There are videos for them to watch, as well as like interactive features to the online curriculum, and then activities that they can do right out and about in their community that come with worksheets that can be customized. So definitely, I would say, like, if you go to our website, so technovationchallenge.org, there's a blue button at the top that says curriculum, and then there's the beginner curriculum. You hit that button, and then you've got access to all that content. And I'd say the first couple of those lessons especially are key in this youth voice, kind of establishing that foundation, because that's where they're like identifying their values, thinking through what communities they belong to, what challenges impact those communities, and how technology can come in to help. So first couple of lessons in the beginner division curriculum on our website. And then the second one, I would also, if you're looking for something that's, maybe like a rapid design process where they kind of do all of this, but sort of in miniature, we also have mini Technovation. And that follows the same process where they find a problem. They don't actually build out the app. They do a little bit of coding or algorithmic thinking, and then they'll like draw out the app at the end. And so that's a nice kind of way to pilot, these ideas and all of this with young folks, and start to establish that foundation of elevating youth voice in your context. Our bread and butter is partnering with, organizations and with schools. And so if your organization or your school is looking to integrate Technovation in one way or the other, we'd love to get in contact with you and make sure that you get the support from our staff. Don't do it on your own. That's what our jobs are, is to support, the folks that are out there that are trying to integrate, this tech innovation process into their space. So please reach out to us.